Here we go. Um, let's see. Oh, hi everyone. Hello. Welcome, welcome. We're going to expand together. And let me just share the live. If you're here, let me know if you can hear me. I don't see anyone here, so probably shouldn't ask that just yet. We're going to get started. Welcome to this powerful month. Probably already said that. I don't remember when was the last time that I came here, but I figured that I would come, share, expand with you guys. I still have a number of questions that were answered in my private Facebook group that I haven't gotten to answer. And so I'm going to take the time right now and answer some of these questions because I am sure that we'll be able to expand into many other topics. The other thing that I wanted to share just before we get started is that I have expanded um, mm, some of my support opportunities for this month. So I have an array of, excuse me, new coaching calls and 9 upcoming workshops. If you received the email or if you're some of my private groups, if you received the schedule at the end, I actually wrote November, which is super crazy. But all of these workshops are going to be in December, not November, because we're not in November anymore. So just a little FYI, I will put gonna feel into how to share. I might just share it on my blog and have you guys read and look at everything. Everything is inside of my Stan store. So if you go to stan.store/Coach Samantha 11, the number 11, you will find the array of opportunities and discounts that I have for you this month. So without further ado, I do want to get started with these questions. So, um, one of the questions was, is it normal to feel like you want? I'm gonna actually put this. Is it normal to feel like you want 20 hours of sleep and get only 3? I'm gonna put it up here so that you guys can. Oh wait. Oh yeah. See it. Okay. And she started with, I'm tired. And I want to also address this because we are getting to a point where it's exhausting. In fact, we've always been exhausted. We've always been tired of living under a mask, living under a facade, living under so much pretense within this reality, within this world, not really feeling like it's okay to be ourselves, not feeling like it's okay to be our light, not really feeling like, we belong or we are supported and loved. So that within itself creates a very deep heaviness. Okay. what happens when you're carrying something heavy. Something very normal and natural happens, you get really tired. Okay. However, what's been happening for a really long time is that we've adjusted to this weight. And this weight has felt like it's pretty normal. By the way, if you are here, let me know if you can hear me well. And I will be checking both Facebook and YouTube because sometimes I feel like I'm not getting the YouTube, the Facebook messages live. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so we have been, it's like we've adjusted, like we've gotten used to it. We've gotten used to all this weight, the excess weight, right? Like getting used to the excess fat. And we just continue to live like this, not feeling how heavy this actually is. Okay, so for a lot of us, we've been going kind of in and out, or we've been really deep into the exhaustion phase where you just feel really super tired. And you may not really understand why, because nothing has really changed for you, your dynamic, your schedule, it's kind of all the same. But what's happening right now is that your body is becoming more sensitive. Your body is opening up more. Therefore, it's feeling a lot more things. And so you are starting to finally feel what it's been like to carry so much excess weight for so long. Okay. You're finally starting to feel the heaviness of your reality, of your emotions, of your belief systems, of your programs, of your thoughts, of everything. And boy, is that's like beyond what we thought we were carrying. And the exhaustion levels will continue to increase at some level, at some point. They come and go. Okay, for me, I know that it's just a really normal part of the process. In fact, that phase comes in and out for me. Okay. For instance, right now, most of that phase for me is mostly when I get my period. When I get my period, I go completely down when I am able to and when it's necessary. But I will go in and out during other times of the month as well. It really just depends on the frequencies that are coming through, what's activating, and what I'm clearing. When you're clearing an enormous amount of energy and emotional energy, there will be a moment where your body's like, oh my God, super tired and needs extra rest. And that's super important to honor. So you're not alone if you guys are going through the exhaustion phase. Let me know if you are. Thank you. Oh, you don't? Let me check that. Let me just double check and see if I can see it. Okay. I am. If you rather be on YouTube, I do show that I am. But thanks for letting me know so that I can check. What I do like about, again, I don't know why I don't get the Facebook comments here. Only the YouTube comments. But anyway, so just wanted to share a little bit about that phase. That if you're feeling super tired, it's actually really normal. Your body, though, let's talk a little bit about the body. The body is super conscious. Your body knows what's up. Your body knows more than you think. Your body is more intelligent, more wise um, than we thought. It's just that we've been so disconnected from it. We've been so out of the body that we have forgotten this. So when you're going through this phase where you feel really, really tired, very exhausted, your body will know when to create that opening for you so that you can rest and relax. Okay. If so, kind of going into the question, if you feel like you want 20 hours of sleep and are only getting 3, okay, and you can expand into this a little bit more. Are you just able to be in bed for 3 hours, or you're in bed but you're only getting 3 hours of like deep sleep? And I'll come back to it if you're on Facebook. Because that will depend a little bit on how I answer that. The exhaustion phase never ends for me, never ends. Okay. Let's feel a little bit into this. When you feel like nothing never, like XYZ never ends. Okay. Everything always have this end and beginning. Okay. Your linear self, your linear human mind is the one that only perceives one thing. And it will be very, very strict and very closed to what's actually happening. Your linear mind is the one that's saying, this is never ending. This is never going to change for me. This is the only thing that's happening. This always, and this always, unless it's something like quote unquote negative. Because if it's the opposite, then may not be fully your linear mind. But your linear head will always think that this is always going on, this is always happening. And I want to open that up so that you can start to recognize that if you are seeing things from your linear human mind, then yeah, they're going to be pretty bleak. It's going to be this never ending journey, never ending story of suffering, of victimhood, of stagnation. When in reality, everything comes in phases. So, and this could also be part of what's going on. There is a lot of things happening within. Oh, okay. Maybe because of the family, I have not had the courage to leave. Okay. It's a very powerful observation. Your environment may very likely be that excess weight on you. Going into where this heaviness is in your body and what aspect of you is keeping you from opening up and releasing that. Okay. Every single one of us has lived through the perception and the belief system and the program that I must carry this. I must hold on to this. This is my safety net. This is my protection mechanism. This is my, this is how I can, this is the only way that I can survive. Okay. However, putting together the two and two, like putting together the dots and really starting to feel that the exhaustion is coming from this belief and this aspect that is not yet ready or willing or even wants to break free. Opening up to this, like, realization, and letting that realization be like the release. Let the realization be the release. Let the realization, the acknowledgement, the awareness be the beginning of you, like, oh, okay. I see a little bit more. I get a little bit more. Because sometimes we have these realizations and we're like, we get, we tense up again, or we tense up even more. It just depends on how your body is kind of wired. And even if it's wired to like lock itself up even more, allowing yourself to feel that too. Allowing yourself to know what your protection instincts, like your protection mechanisms, how your protection mechanisms function is super, super key as well. Super crucial. Part of what also happens is that if your body isn't going in that deep sleep cycle for the amount of hours that you're in bed, okay, your body probably has the energy to do something else. Because this happens to me too, by the way. I'll be like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to bed. And I'll lay in bed and I'll close my eyes and turn off the light and all of these different things. But my body is not going to, like, my body, my consciousness is, my body consciousness is still pretty awake. And the biggest thing that I've learned is that, okay, if my body is still has enough energy and is still not falling asleep, then there must be something else, or there might be something else that I could do, that I need to do, that I need to open up to. So right now, it depends on what phase I'm in. Okay. Sometimes it's like, you know what? I'm in this, still in this kind of funk, but I'm not falling asleep. I'm just going to be up and watch something I enjoy, watch something new, watch something funny, like whatever the case may be. If I am not in that funk, then I will start to work. I will start to, whatever the case may be, create, do something, in my business. I will type something up. I will maybe even, do a video or whatever the case may be. I will feel into what is highest for me to do right now when my body is just not, it's not falling asleep. And I'm not going to force it anymore. I'm not going to like try and get myself to sleep. No, because I know that my body is telling me something. My body needs me to get off, get up and start doing something. Start creating something. Start building something. Start sharing more. Start writing. All of these different things will come up. Okay. For those of you that are also feeling that push and feeling that this reality right now has an expiration point, I am ready to move into another reality. I'm ready to open up to another reality. There might be certain building blocks to do, some building blocks, some projects, business, whatever the case may be, so that you can have a new structure, a new stability, another income coming through, all of these different things. And I will tell you, this was also part of my path and part of my process as well. Back now, six years ago. In fact, no, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was in my full-time job, but I had this like, okay, I'm ready to open up to something new. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to do something else or do more of this energy work. But it wasn't time yet. And so I knew that I had to build something. I had to build myself up, build my confidence up, build my business, build my services up so that I can, when the time comes, um, have that extra cushion, new foundation, so that I can. It essentially allowed me to have the confidence I needed to leave my job, leave my reality, leave my parents' home, and essentially leave the state and the country. If I didn't have that, you know, build up, that my website and all of these different things that I had in place, I probably would not have the confidence to move and take those big decisions. Okay. Some of us call them big risks. Some of them thought was, pretty crazy and insane. But that was part of my journey. And so I had to build myself and build that new structure that wasn't even fully built, by the way. Okay. Just kind of had some of the pieces together. And I had to do that for the entire year so that I could have the confidence. It wasn't even the income. I didn't even have the income at that point. I had the confidence. I had a little bit of clients. I had a little bit of a little bit of a different stability going on. I had this new structure that I was able to rely on, that supported me more than I thought. And that was enough for me to take that leap and that jump. Okay. This is going to probably be a really important thing to open up to. This doesn't mean that everyone needs to. In fact, when I was going through that process, one of my friends had mentioned that her friends had also done the same thing. She quit her. I don't know how long she had been in that, job or position, but she just felt like, this is it. This isn't for me, or I'm ready to move on. And she did. And in fact, the first time that I quit, I didn't have any of this. I didn't have the new structure, but I did have a cushion of savings, that was what I needed to take that decision. The second time I quit my job, I didn't have that. But what replaced it was my confidence, and it was my new structure that I was building, which added more confidence. And that allowed me to take the plunge, take that leap of faith, do that quantum jump, to break out, to break free, to do something else, or focus more on this journey too. So coming back into, if you're in that phase where you feel like you want 20, okay, part of what I'm feeling is more of this, the ego linear mind feels and wants to sleep more. However, the body as higher consciousness is saying you actually don't need that much. You can do with 3. And the other time that I'm keeping you awake, it's time to build. It's time to open up. It's time to draw. It's time to write. It's time to play. It's time to create something new, something that will give you the confidence to shift. Okay. Especially, and obviously, Adrian, I know a little bit more of your situation. Um, the normal job scenario isn't in your reality right now. And so opening up, and actually this goes for everyone that's listening, opening up to this non-traditional way of a non-traditional structure, the non-traditional, you know, business, project, venture, to start receiving from, so that you can grow from that. Okay. You don't need to have all the ins and outs of it. You don't need to know, you know, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have all 20 steps, or know the next 20 steps. You don't. You just need to be open. Start to play with some ideas. Start to play with what you love to do. And it could be as easy as start sharing more of that. Start sharing in new ways. Start sharing with new audiences. Start sharing with new people. This new, or this energy, your experience, your insight, your journey. A lot of people are going through the exact same thing right now. A lot of people are in the verge of so much, wanting to change, needing to change, being pushed, or feeling the push for doing something else, doing something new. Ending something, starting something else. Right now, we're in this very powerful transition where we are no longer going to be able to continue to feed into the old linear self. it's like it's not getting its way anymore. It wants to be in its safe little cocoon. It wants to escape. It wants to hide. Okay. We've been living like that for a really long time. And right now, with everything changing, it's no longer the highest, it's no longer how we live. We're going to continually be pushed out of our comfort zone. Okay. And the more you resist it, the more we resist change, the more we resist the body, the more confused you will be, the more frustrated, the more the harder it will get. And it's going to be up to each and every single one of us to realize that, be more open to what's happening so that you can continue to feel the resistance, feel where am I still fighting, where do I want to escape my reality, where do I not want to deal with this anymore. And the biggest key to that is that you don't have to deal with it from here. You don't have to figure everything out from here, because you'll never get there. And that's also been a comfort zone. Not getting there has been a safe zone. Now it's time to really want this and really start to do all of these steps needed in order to move on, in order to break free, in order to create something new. Oh, there it is. Let me check here in case any other comments came through. So I'm gonna move on to the next one. See which one comes through. Okay, so two more. This one also came through one of the members in the group. Oh, good. You're on YouTube. You're welcome. For a lot of us, and I will speak from experience too. A lot of what's happening right now doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, doesn't matter how many exhaustion phases you've gone through. What is coming through, or what has been coming through, is we are no longer going to need that much sleep. And in fact, this is normal part of the ascension process, the expansion process, as you continue to open up and as you start to embody more light. So it just depends, though. It depends on where you are. It depends on, a lot of different factors, because everyone is different and everyone is in a different phase, or in a very specific, unique phase. But overall, part of what I've been experiencing is that when I've been like, okay, I need to rest a little bit, because I have had this like normality for a while, where like, after I eat, clean up the kitchen or so on, or whatnot, I take a nap. I rest before I start doing whatever I need to do, or teaching, have my English classes. And I don't know, maybe it's been a month. I don't know about a month, but let's say 2 to 3 weeks. Well, 2 weeks I was over there in the US, but prior to that, maybe 2 weeks or so, it was like, nope, that's it. You don't need to nap anymore as much as you're used to. You don't need to, have those moments of rest. In fact, my body was like, I could feel my body. I could feel like, oh, I actually don't need to take a nap anymore, or right now, or today. I'm going to, utilize the energy that I have to do other things. And even like maybe, late at night, it's been like you still have the energy to do all of these other things. And so it's like, oh, okay, my sleeping cycle's changing. My nap cycle's changing. Right? All of these different things are changing. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna give me a moment for just a second. Okay. I will have to excuse myself for like another I don't know, couple seconds, but in the next 5 minutes. Someone's coming to drop something off. My nap cycle, my sleep cycle, everything's changing right now. Absolutely everything right now. And again, one of the things that I would have been hearing were one of the things that I got was, you are no longer in this phase. You're no longer in the let's take a nap or let's sleep however long. You are now you're now ready to do more things during the day. Um, this doesn't mean that I will never hit a phase where I'm completely exhausted and I will completely have to lay down and rest and sleep all day, because everything evolves and everything shifts and changes and everything moves and flows. But the majority of the month, I'm now going to be in a different phase. I'm now going to be in a different space where it's going to be a lot more movement and a lot more doing and a lot more creating and a lot more supporting in a whole new way. So I'm feeling that for some of us too, especially if you feel like you're not getting the normality of however many hours of sleep you're used to. If your body is up and energized and has all this energy at night, or whatever the case may be, allow yourself to play with that energy and allow yourself to utilize that energy to start building, start opening up, start sharing, start creating, start something. Everyone's going to have to start something. I can almost guarantee you that. Something new, something that they're scared of, something out of the normal system. Every single person at some level. Just depends on where you are too. Um, this is how we start to build. And the biggest thing to build is our confidence. So let me share the next question. Um, again, I will need to excuse myself for like 30 seconds. In fact, okay, before I start the next one, let me give it a minute or so. I don't know if she was supposed to call or not. Part of my new phase is um helping, supporting one of my friends' business physically. So I go to her little store and I help. This is another friend. I was doing that early this year. And so I feel like, okay, to close out the year, I'm doing this again. Um, so just doing, taking on this other um, part-time gig as I continue to expand, as I continue to grow, as I continue to create more of a new structure, more stability for myself. Um, and I will be also in when was this? This is in December. I said this at the very beginning for those that received my email. For those of you that did not, I will be posting it on my blog, but I will also be sharing more information. For those that are subscribed to my email list. So I'm going to put this somewhere for you to see. I shared my upcoming workshop schedule, and I put all the dates November for some reason. And so the workshops are going to be in December. Um, and so I have 9 upcoming workshops that I'm really excited to expand with you guys on all sorts of topics, all different areas that will support you in every area of your life. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Oh, I didn't mute myself. Whoops. Anyway, um, what was I talking about? Workshops. Workshop schedule is up, and we're going to end the year with a really big bang. Expanding and opening up to all of these different things, subjects, realities. And so if you'd like to join us, I do have the plug in myself again. I have the link in the description so that let me plug my computer so that you can join us if you are ready to join us. Okay. So, I'm going to put this next one. Someone asked me, I guess this is more of a personal question. What are the guides that you have? Um, I guess now My guides are more of my internal, inner, my internal higher self and my higher body. Sure, there's a mix of everything in there. Um, Sometimes I will connect to other other energies and other frequencies and other essences when they come through, or when I feel the call to, like, okay, let's bring this through, let's bring this energy, this guide, this archangel, this, ascended master come through. But if I don't, then it's just um, higher self, it's just light body, that guide, that I feel the guidance coming through. um what else can I say about that? It I will tell you that mm, this process will always shift, will always evolve. There's so many different aspects of ourselves that, yes, it's important to connect to, it's important to integrate, it's important to listen to. um and I feel this more so now. I feel like before we had this is, these are my guides, or this is who I channel, or this is this. And again, for everyone it's different, but I feel, for me, and the essence that I come that I come with, and that I embody, it's more this flow of, like, letting things shift and change, not get attached to anything at all, not get attached to just, this particular guide, or this particular energy, or you know whatever the case may be. Because as I continue to expand and learn more about energy, I know that everything shifts, and everything morphs, and everything changes, which is a big, 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 big thing, even within. And I'm seeing that, and I've been seeing that for maybe a couple years now, that within the collectives that have gone through some sort of awakening, they're going through a lot of changes. They're feeling into the evolution of this process. They're feeling into um, the expansion of their beliefs and their techniques and their tools and all of these different things that were always meant to change, are always that are meant to evolve. And so, kind of coming back into that merger and that essence of everything and everyone becomes also kind of that support, and becomes your guidance, part of your guidance. Your body, your higher self light, all becomes part of that guidance. um I'm feeling more into that, like, everyone becomes part of that guidance system. It's a system. Your guides are part of the guidance system, and every system inside of you and everything outside of you becomes part of that guidance system, because everything is energy, and everything is you, and you're connected to everything. And so as you continue to open up and feel into everything, you'll start to feel how everything guides you. The numbers that you see, the colors, the sky, the birds, the butterflies, everything guides you. Absolutely everything becomes your guide. absolutely everything becomes that new support system that's always guiding you and always redirecting you and always opening up doors for you. So that because that's I feel like that's the evolution that we go through from just specific guides and specific, you know, um, like energetic guides that we see as, you know, a person or energy, the energy of a person, to your guides become absolutely everything. Everything becomes, everything supports you, which means everything guides you along the way. That makes sense. So, thank you for that question too. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I did. Did I? Did I put it up? Yeah, I put it up. Moving on to this one. Okay. I'm gonna have to. Well, I have been. I've been copying pasting all of these different things. I mean, all of these different questions. Okay, but it is a little long. Let's see. Let's take it one step at a time. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna put this so that I can put it in the video. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the entire question because it's long. So I don't know how long. I don't know if I can put the whole thing. Is there a purpose in excavating? Is there a purpose in excavating the past? Parentheses, identifying and clearing old programming. Or is it more efficient to call in, embody more light, and let the light dissolve the old, sometimes without not even being consciously aware of what was cleared? Okay. And I'm going to say that both of these practices serve a purpose. It's not one is better than the other, is not one is right, the other one's wrong, right? This brings us into brings our duality, dualistic aspect. Both have a purpose, both are important, both are part of the process and part of the journey. Okay. The way that I've been seeing it and I've been observing it and I've been seeing, observing is that there's going to be a moment where one will be highest to do, to focus on, and then in other phases, the latter will be. Okay. I feel like most of us go into this process learning the first, which is more of it's how we begin, it's how we start excavating, identifying our programs, identifying our emotions, identifying our fears, right? And then whatever technique you learned, you go through the clearing process, and then you come into a space where you move into a new aspect of yourself where you it's almost like making it easier because it's no longer this mental mind game of trying to do this through that linear head, or that mental, the mental, I'm gonna say, you know, closed mind of wanting to know everything. Now you're moving into a new space where it's more about trust, where it's more about, breathing more light, calling forth more light, embodying more light, surrendering to that light so that your light can come and take over. So it's almost like, you start this process, you learn more about the energy world, and learn more about programs, and learn about clearing, and learn about all of these different techniques. And there's a moment where that process does stop, and you start to surrender more to your light so that your light can take over, because your mental linear mind can only do so much. Your light is what is needed in order to continue the program, the clearing, the deprogramming, the reprogramming, the decoding, the recoding, all at a cellular DNA level, that isn't done through your mind or linear mind. That's done through your light. And so we move out of the mental process, or mental, trying to do everything from your linear mind, and go into more of this surrendered phase where you keep it super super simple, which is part of the reason why I work with the breath a lot, and remind everyone to breathe light, because you want to move into that phase where it's more about keeping things simple and focusing on super simple things, like your breath, like your light, like going with the flow and playing, because that opens you up more. The more open you are, the more light you start to receive, and the more your light is able to dissolve the old. And you won't even be conscious of half of the things that get cleared. You might get a little bit of a, you know, uh, um, you may have some sort of information, a little bit of like, oh, okay, this is what's clearing, this is what's coming up, this is what's, this is the energy that I feel, but you won't know everything. And not knowing everything is such a huge part of this process, because we've lived through this feeling of having to know everything, needing to know, needing to have the knowledge, needing to have the expertise, needing to have all of this information. We've been living in the age of information, which, by the way, I mean, that's part of the process. That's how we started to open up to all of this, and we started to awaken to all this, because there's a lot of information that started to be shared. And obviously with the internet and with technology, it 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 supported our awakening even more, right? What's happening now in this age of information, now we're like in the age of like misinformation, and everyone's going bonkers, and everyone's confused, and everyone doesn't really know, what's going on, what's real, what's not, what's true, what's like, all of these different things are coming up, right? And the information that we now have to open up to is the information that is inside of ourselves, our internal database, our internal knowing, and our internal knowledge. And yes, we're going to go through a lot of the old linear aspects in your mind that maybe still believe this or maybe still believe that. Feeling into everything that we still believe in, feeling into the information that's coming through from it, from that fearful space, so that your body can continue to clear it and resolve it and release it. And that will allow you the opportunity to open up and access a higher level of information. But it's a process. It's not right away for a lot of the times. It's this continuing to surrender and continuing to allow yourself to flow with what is right now, with what is, with this being state. When you're in that being state, that fully open state, you're in a space of this is enough. Being here, sitting here, you know, watching the sunrise, watching the sky is enough. This moment is enough. I am enough. There is no more, there's nothing more to do, and there's nothing more to learn. Everything that I need is right here, right now. Everything that I am is right here, right now. It completes you, it completes everything. This is the frequency of the new. This is the frequency of heaven. This is the frequency of our pure love, pure light. And anchoring that is so crucial. Anchoring that is so key. As things move on, move and progress and evolve, and we embody more light and we anchor more light, you get to start to activate more of that higher self light inside of you, so that you can move as this, and so that you can start to receive information as this. Because the information that you are going to receive as light allows you to move differently than if your linear mind ego were to receive more of that information. And one of the things that happens, the reason why it's so important to open up to that phase where it's you're just being, there's nothing more to do, you're just this beautiful space, and you're just flowing, and you're just lost in the trees and lost in the clouds and lost in the sky, is because that is dissolving more of everything, more of who you thought you were, more of your identities, more of your ego, more of everything that you thought you were. And that needs to be a continual process, so that this energy, this aspect is no longer has the energy to take over your life and to pretty much mess everything up, because it will keep you bound to the old and will continue that suffering and that victimhood and that trauma experienced realities, or trauma realities. It will keep you in this confused state, misinformation, trying to do everything by yourself, trying to figure everything out, trying to know everything in advance. The list goes on and on and on. And you start to become much more at peace, which is one of the biggest things here. With everything that's going on right now, with everything that's shifting and changing right now, being in that peace, being in your essence as peace, is going to be one of the most important and most powerful frequencies to embody. This is going to be our new stabilization. It's going to be our part of our new structure. Maintaining that pure balance, which, by the way, in order to do that, you're going to go be all over the place. You're going to go polar, bipolar, you're going to go in extreme directions. You're going to be feeling extreme emotions. You're going to be in this emotional roller coaster ride. It's going to be everything. You're going to have to feel both sides of the spectrum in order to come back into that much more balanced space, pure balanced space inside. Because balance has nothing to do with what you were taught and what your mind thinks that it is. It's much bigger than that. It's something inside of you. It's something that you feel. It's something that you become. It has nothing to do with what you do and how you live and how many hours of sleep you get and how much time you spend here at job in your job and your family. It has nothing to do with that. Completely different ballgame. Um, the caveat to all this is that you actually come back into, as you start to embody more light, you're going to start to embody more of your aspects, your higher self aspects. And there's going to be different aspects that are going to see much more, which means that you're going to receive a lot more information about what it is that's happening, what you're clearing, what you are resolving, what you're what aspect you're working through, what program are you working with, what belief system are you is collapsing. You're gonna receive a lot more information, but you're no longer going to receive this information from the benefit of your ego. You are now going to start to receive this information from a whole new aspect of you that knows what to do with that information and utilizes to its highest instead of distorts it for the lowest. So it's a process and it's a journey, and everything shifts and everything changes and everything expands and everything merges. Like everything is so vast. Everything is so immense. Wherever you are, a lot of us, hi David, welcome. A lot of us are in the latter phase, by the way. So many of us are starting to come into the space of keeping it simple, focusing on your breathing, focusing on your light, playing, right? Because a lot of us are also have reached a point of like, does ever end? Does the healing never end? Does the healing process ever end? I feel like I'm in this loop. I feel like I'm just going around in circles. I feel like, whatever the case may be. I am also seeing that as well, which is it's a powerful phase. Because when you start to see that, or if you are in that phase, then you will open yourself up to a whole new way and a simpler way. Because now at that point, you're ready to do things differently. When we start this process, and I speak for myself too, when I started this process, I didn't come into this surrender. We come into, well, actually, I started to open up through, um, my path went, personal development, I went into the personal development path that led me into manifestation, law of attraction. Um, and then that kind of opened me up to, little by little, like I started learning learning or getting into a little bit of numerology. I started to open up to um, meditation and stuff like that. But I didn't go into the surrender and the breathing so much until years later, probably like 5 years later, after I had awakened. So I know that for a lot of us, this is part of the process. We go into the techniques and the tools and the healing practices and all of these different things that we do mostly from our head, because that's our safe zone. That's how we manage to quote unquote live in this reality. And then we go into a new phase that allows us to simplify everything and again go into the surrender mode. Surrendered, surrender to your light, surrender to your higher body. Surrender is the new name of the game. And you know how it breaks you out of that constant fight, battle, protection, right? All of these different things that we have so ingrained in us. And it brings you back into the simplicity, making things more simple, making things more enjoyable, opening yourself up to going with the flow. It opens you up to going with the flow, enjoying more of this process. A lot of us kind of forgot, not in everything, but there were a couple of things or different areas or different, hobbies or whatever the case may be that we stopped doing, which is also part of the process, by the way. Um, we stopped doing some of the things that we loved. And there's a purpose for that, because there is a ending. Stop doing things from your ego. So you stop doing those things entirely at some level until you allow yourself a new aspect of you to come through, so that when you're ready to come back to doing those things, you're going to be doing them from a whole different aspect of yourself, a higher self version of yourself, which changes the entire game. So we do take breaks, lots and lots of breaks from all of these different things, so that we can move into new realities, new versions of ourselves, right? So I hope that supported. Thank you again, guys, for sharing and opening up to all of these um, questions. The last one that came through a few days ago. Um, yeah, so talk about your galactic awakening. Part of the reason why I put this in the chat, part of why I call it galactic awakening is because the information that came through came from, it was actually a channeling from someone that um, connected to, was very connected to the, or is very connected to, I don't even know, to the Pleiadians. And the information that came through was so out there, was very like galactic. Um, oh, I just saw this comment come through. I have a hard time finding this process fun. Okay, the process itself is everything. Can be everything but fun. One of the biggest things, and I'll come back to my galactic. One of the biggest things about the process is that you want to open up to everything that you feel about the process so that you can be in a space where you're more at peace. Because being at peace with this process is one of the biggest keys. It's not like it's not gonna be like, oh, I'm having so much fun. This is so awesome because it's not. It will push you, it will push you, it will break you, it will destabilize you, it will be extremely emotional. It will be everything that you don't want. In fact, it will be everything that you have been avoiding in this body. This is part of the reason why it's not going to be fun from here. However, one of the things that I've noticed too, that it as it evolves, it's kind of like a literal roller coaster ride. I my brother invited me to SeaWorld 2 weeks ago, and I was all gung ho, like, yeah, let's go into roller coaster rides. And I was like, when was the last time that I went to, like, I don't remember when the last time that I went on a roller coaster ride. It was probably like 15, 16 years ago. It's a long time. And I got to go to like I went on like different rides, 4 or 5 different rides. And it's like it's fun, but it's also nerve-wracking, and it's also like a lot of like but yet we enjoy it. Well, some of us do, not everybody. I feel like the ascension process is that. And it will push you, it'll shake you, it'll make you scream, it'll activate your nerves and toss you all over the place. But the more at peace you are with it, the more you'll flow with it. So one of my experiences this past um this time around is or was that I didn't feel such that I didn't feel like the nerve wrecking, the feeling like your 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 heart sinks down to your stomach when you're like going through the really steep drops. And I was surprised. I was like, oh, I feel completely different now. Like it's not this fear anymore that I had. I didn't feel that like huge drop. It was just like, oh, okay, this is cool, this is fun. But mind you, it took me 15, 16 years to get there. So that's the analogy that's coming through for me right now. Coming back to the state of like peace, being more open to being at peace with it, and how are you more at peace with this process by allowing yourself to feel absolutely everything you feel about it without the constant resistance, the constant, I'm going to stay here because it's more comfortable to stay here than actually feel in my gut everything that I feel about this process. And being open to seeing that that might be where you are. What I'm getting right now is as we go through the feeling process, we'll go through feeling things from here. We feel things from our mind, right? We label how we feel, what we feel. We go through kind of the mental journey of feeling. And then it the deeper, when I say, feel things deeper, is move from your head down lower. So maybe your head will be also connected to your eyes, right? But you also want to see from your mind's eye, your third eye. And then you're going to go deeper into feeling with all of the different senses, your ears, right? Even your nose. And then you want to open up your throat. You want to feel things and let things out from here. Just going to be a lot of thought and a lot of words and a lot of things that come out through your mouth. And also your writing. Then you want to go lower. You want to start feeling things from chest, from shoulders, from heart and higher heart. Most of us have managed to do that, but it doesn't stop there. We have to keep going. So then we start to go deeper into the stomach. And this is a big one for every single one of us, because most of what we have felt hasn't been fully processed by your body. So we'll go through a lot of body stuff, stomach stuff, right? The indigestion, the refluxes, all of that stuff connected to the digestive system. Okay, so we can feel at that level. But it doesn't stop there. We go deeper into the gut, into the womb space, which opens up a whole bunch of other things. But it doesn't stop there. Then we got to go into the root. And that's the deepest, that's the darkest, that's the heaviest, that's the most distorted. That's where we resist, and we will do anything to get us out of here. Get me out of here. It's too much. Because everything that's in the root, it's massive. Massive. At that point, you're able to move also down through the legs, down through your feet. But this is kind of to get you a visual of the process of feeling deeper. The process of surrendering deeper too. It's not just surrender from here. Oh yeah, I'm surrendered, I surrender. Yeah, I'm resisting. It's all here. It's all coming from here. It's coming from your linear mind aspect. This will only get you so far. Now it's time to go lower, lower, lower. To go higher, you have to go lower. You have to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And you never really stop because you're infinite, right? So hope that supports. Just to kind of wrap things up, um, when I was talking about my awakening, my galactic awakening, it was more of this channeling. My first connection to galactics. It was my first in my introduction to the ascension process. It was my fast track to there's so much more that we don't know about, that we're not taught about this existence. And it shook me and it broke me and it shattered my whole entire world, but it opened me up in a way that I needed to, that I was ready for. That start when you start your galactic awakening, in a sense, you'll start to see a lot of the distortions that have been playing out in the world. You'll start to, which by the way, we're there, which is massive. We're starting to see a lot more. We're starting to um, recognize a lot more things. A lot of different things are being shown to us. Part of the galactic awakening also is it brings you into this boldness. And so, right after I went through that, like a month and a half, no, probably less than a month and a half, I quit my job. And it was very like, when I go back and I feel into that, I was like, wait, what? Why did I quit exactly? I don't even know. It was just like, it was this activation that I had gone through right after my galactic awakening that brought forth this aspect, this very galactic aspect in me that said, no BS. Let's go deeper into this. You need to quit your job. You need to end your relationship. You need to go all in. This is part of your galactic aspect of the we're getting things done. We're not we're this is a very moving, this is a very action oriented aspect, which with what I was talking about, like, oh, I'm no longer in my nap phase or sleep phase, normal sleep phase. I'm in a whole new galactic aspect right now where it's time to get things done. It's that time to get moving. It's time to start doing all of these different things. It's start to get the show on the road. This is your galactic aspect. Most of them, I mean, there's one in particular that my teacher would say that that's soft, loving, you know, being more in the being. The being comes more from the soul aspects. The galactic aspects are more of the doing. Those are the doer, the getter done, the doers, the builders, right? This is where our master builder comes into place. Our master, it's where the um, action comes through from your galactic aspect, because you're no longer in this emotional roller coaster ride. You're no longer, going through the depthness, from a space of like, I need to just be in it, let the body process and just go with the flow. This is a get up and get things done. This is a get up and quit your job. This is a get up and move. This is a get up and quit your shit and quit crying, or quit whatever the case may be. Quit whatever you quit your comfort zone. Like, quit being in your comfort zone. This is it. You don't have time for that. Well, how's that lady? What is that lady saying? Nobody ain't got time for that. Or it's just so funny. Yeah. Anyway, we ain't got time for that anymore. And a lot of us are feeling that too. A lot of us are moving into this deeper galactic aspect of ourselves that is moving us and pushing us to actually get things done. So yeah, I had never actually put the two and two together. But right after that galactic awakening, where a lot of galactic information came through of, who we are, why we're here, and what we came here to do, and all of these different things that play out in the energy world and also physical world came through, then it was like, stop playing footsies and start playing big, because there's a big difference with that. We can play footsies all day long. Marketing. I think one of my marketing teachers used to say that we can just play footsies, and we could just go over here and like pretend that we're doing something, or pretend that we're getting things done, or just stay stuck in the healing process, or get stuck in, you know, the normality, and just, keep fighting, and whatever the case may be. Or you can quit that and start moving into a higher ground. Start moving into a new space. Start moving out so that you can move in. Start going deeper. So yeah, it was like a month and a week or so where I was like, I quit. I'm done. I had nothing really going. I had just started this process, but again, I had that cushion that allowed me. And again, that galactic awakening was my initiation to the ascension process, which is so key. And so many people are there right now. So many people are finally opening and consciously going through the ascension and expansion and integration and embodiment process, which is absolutely huge, and it will change absolutely everything. So expect this, expect continual changes, expect more of your galactic aspect to come through, expect more of your light to come through as well. Expect everything to line up for you, because everything is lining up for you. Expect everything to shift for you. Expect the odds to be in your favor. Expect magic. Expect everything that's highest aligned for you. You may not even know what that is right now, and that's okay. This is about continually opening up to the surrendering to your light, and opening up to trusting. Having that deep inner trust that your light will always be there. Your light is always supporting you. Your light is always guiding you. Your light is always here. But it's been us who has pushed our light away. It's pushed everything away. We push everything away, by the way. We push absolutely everything and everyone away. In fact, someone else had mentioned that when I was going through one of my socials, and somebody had said, why is it that every time something really great and really good comes to me, I freeze? And my whole, system, I don't know if she said immune system, just goes haywire, and it's like, and I'm stuck. That's because at a deep DNA level, everything great and amazing didn't feel right. We didn't feel worthy of it. We didn't feel confident to actually receive it. We didn't feel good enough about ourselves to be worthy of it. That's at a DNA level, by the way. We all have that. Opening ourselves up to feeling, to connecting to these aspects, to diving into the body and feel all of these different things is so huge and so key, because that's how you start to allow more of your light to break you out of these systems and break you out of these belief systems and programs that keep you resisting everything that you came here to experience, every ounce of magic and every beautiful and wonderful thing that is here for you. It's a big one. It's a big one for every single one of us. And I feel it too, and I've been going through it too, of like just how much I have been in resistance mode, and how much I have pushed things away, and how much I haven't given myself permission to receive more. So we're all going through all of this, right? All of this process. We're going through a lot of change. We're going through a massive destabilization of everything we thought was true, and everything we thought was real, and everything we thought supported us. And you're not alone. So I'm going to be opening up, like I mentioned. Um, I have like a new array of coaching calls specific geared towards like specific things um that I can support you with. I mean, I can support you in other things too, by the way. So if you don't see anything in my store, you can always reach out to me and ask me if if there's something specific. But everything that I have there, my coaching calls are at a discount right now. My workshops are also at a discount, and I'm going to be we're going to be diving deeper into all this. Um we're going to be diving deeper into self-love. I saw the self-love, um releasing, no, that's not it. Releasing, releasing, clearing, cleansing, dissolving tons and tons of fears, tons of subconscious programs, tons of old linear aspects. And so I have 9 workshops coming up starting this Saturday. I'm gonna go balls to the wall. I'm gonna go hardcore to support all of us in this, because this is big. This is a humongous transition point. I talk a lot about like the universal number year, which is 9, which is a big humongous closure. But I want to remind you that we're going to continue to live through this theme of closure and completion. Both go hand in hand for huge for the next this next year. And it's going to be a predominant big thing for the rest of the decade, by the way, because everything that was old will continue to end. So this Saturday, I'm going to have 2. And I'm going to be posting. Oh, the link is there. I'm going to post it on my Facebook too. Um, um, we're going to be opening up to activating our new mission, our mission, roles, and abundance. For a lot of us, for all of us, we're moving into new realities, new missions, new roles. I don't say purpose too much because your purpose is super simple. And you have like the biggest purpose is being here in your body. That's the biggest purpose. After that purpose comes your mission. Because your purpose is being, your mission is doing. We're moving into that mission of the doing, of the action takers. Okay, and so we're moving into this new service roles, new projects, new businesses, new jobs, new careers, new realities. That's going to be a big thing coming into this new year. And the abundance comes from how open we are. So everything, once you start to align all of these different things, the support will be abundant. Your support, your guidance, um, your steps, the steps to take are going to be abundant. They're going to be there. You're going to be able to receive them and you're going to be confident enough to take those. And then I'm gonna be doing one. I'm gonna be doing one in the morning and then one in the afternoon. And the second one in the afternoon is gonna be resolving mom and dad wounds, and that's a big one too for all of us. There's a lot of movement, a lot of shifting, and a lot of things to resolve within our family dynamic, especially our mom and dad figures. So we're going to be diving into opening those up, feeling, clearing, releasing, and allowing your body to process everything. Because everything has to be processed. But your mind is not equipped to process everything in the way that it needs to. This is about your body and your cellular body. Now, processing at a cellular level is key. How do you process at a cellular level? You don't need to know, you just need to allow it. Because your light does that for you. So we'll be opening that up. And then one more on Sunday, allowing more joy, fun, and play in my life, which ties into what you mentioned, Adrian, about, this isn't fun. And so opening up to this energy, how to bring more of this energy, how to shift into this is also part of the healing process. This is part of the integration process. Opening yourself up to play, opening up to have fun, opening up to not get caught up in the seriousness, like the old seriousness and the old tightness and the old, I gotta get all of this and I gotta heal first and I gotta do all this and I gotta no, this is supposed to be light because you are light. This whole process is meant to be light. However, you are going to have to go through the deep dark nights. Nights. The dark nights of your ego are many. It's not just one. You go through dark nights. This is where you enter into the realm of the deep heaviness, your hell. And that's such a big part of the process too. But allowing yourself to be more conscious about this and opening yourself up to it, giving yourself permission to play, giving yourself permission to rest, giving yourself permission to forget about absolutely everything and everyone as appropriate as possible, giving yourself permission to to learn how to navigate this process in a much lighter way will support tremendously. So, those are going to be the three workshops that I have lined up for this Saturday and Sunday. You're welcome to join one, you're welcome to join all. I do have a discount. In fact, I'm going to be feeling into this. I might have a discount for all, like a ridiculously super amazing discount to receive all, to join all of my 9 workshops until Friday. So just an FYI. Um, right now I have it almost at the same price. Almost, not exactly, but we'll do a little surprise discount exchange for until Friday, and then we'll go with the flow. So I'm gonna be wrapping things up because I do need to get ready for to go do some go work at my friend's shop for a little bit. However, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here if you are live, by the way. It supports so much. And I know that I didn't ask for any live questions because I knew that I wanted to answer some of these other questions that had come through last week, I think. But I will be opening up for more questions. You're welcome to send them over. Either message me, or if you go to my stand store, you'll see my email too. You can email them too, or you can also join. I'm gonna put this. Uh, I'm gonna put my private Facebook group in the comments for those that would like to also join that one too. And I'll put it in Facebook too. And that's pretty much it for now. We will see you when we see you. Have an amazing rest of your day and week. And I hope to expand more with you guys, whether it's on a coaching call or in a workshop, one of the workshops, because I know that will support you even more. So, sending you much love, big hugs,